We built $100 million gardens, the most advanced gardens in the world, to grow lettuce.
Over the last decade, we poured hundreds of millions of dollars into what was supposed to be the future of food. Giant, gleaming, climate-controlled vertical farms. 50 million, 100 million, some even more, all stamped with the same bold promise. We're gonna save the food crisis.
The UN Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that we'll need 56% more food to feed 9.1 billion people by 2050.
Think about your actual grocery cart. Tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, squash, potatoes, beans. That's the actual food crisis. That's what people are really eating. So what crisis was a $100 million lettuce farm solving? We're not talking about small experiments here. Aero farms, Bowery farming. These are the darlings of food tech, backed by Goldman Sachs, SoftBank, celebrity investors. They raised billions of dollars collectively, and they made headlines for years. And now they're all gone.
Aero Farms Danville Farming Company, LLC, will shut down all operations.
I've done a full breakdown of why these farms failed, and the link is up here, but there's one thing I didn't really get into in that video, and it might be the most important part of the story: the math. Specifically, the massive gap between what it costs to grow leafy greens indoors and what you can actually sell them for. Now here's where it gets interesting, because we know you can grow fruiting plants indoors. We've been doing it at a massive scale for years. The indoor cannabis industry grows complex, demanding, high-maintenance fruiting plants inside, year-round, under artificial light, so aggressively that the industry actually consumes roughly 1% of all the electricity in the United States. So why don't we see $100 million indoor tomato farms? Why no vertical cucumber operations? Well, it comes down to one number. Cannabis is worth roughly 100 times more per pound than a head of lettuce. When your product commands those prices, you can afford the energy bills, the labor, the infrastructure, the climate control, because the margins are there. Lettuce margins are not. Fruiting plants are a completely different animal. They need a lot more light, they need more energy, more water, they need months of consistent care instead of weeks. The vertical farm giants knew this. They ran the numbers and they made a calculated bet. Grow the easiest, least demanding crop available, keep costs as low as possible, and just hope the scale would eventually make it work. But it didn't. The last thing I want to do is paint the picture that vertical farming is dead and all these companies just failed and were overly ambitious. Because really, vertical farming can be broken down into three different categories. First are these massive, fully indoor, completely controlled lettuce factories that we're talking about in this video and in the last video. Aero farms, Bowery farms, Calera, these were absolutely massive facilities. And the few that got bought out to continue operating as vertical farms, I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on them, like Calera got bought out last year. I'd like to see if the new company can make changes that keep them in business. I think installing a solar farm would be the first step in lowering the production cost of lettuce, but what do I know? The second types of vertical farms are these sun-assisted greenhouse, low-energy vertical farms. These are thriving.
And the only moving part is a pump.
But 80% of the time, the pump is off.
Everything that we get from this farm is still alive, and it's not already cut and already decaying and already, losing nutrients and so forth.
It's that freshness and convenience that James thinks will help aeroponic farming become more common in the future.
And the crazy part is that these farms use significantly less grid energy and resources overall. So they can manage to grow fruiting plants. Any plant that you can put into a tower garden or a hydroponic system, you can grow in one of these greenhouse style vertical operations. Which definitely makes you wonder, if you could grow everything with significantly less energy used, then why would you ever do the huge operations in the first place? These farms are producing massive amounts of tomatoes and strawberries. Roughly 30 to 37% of all fresh tomatoes sold in the United States are now grown in hydroponic greenhouses. In Canada, this figure is even higher. Greenhouse-grown, mostly hydroponic tomatoes making up 89% of the fresh production. The third type of vertical farm, let me step outside to talk to you guys about. And the third type of vertical farm is a community vertical garden or personal vertical garden. Companies like Tower Garden have been leading the industry, making it super easy to grow vertically with customizable industrial grade tower gardens. Privately owned tower farms have been popping up all over the place, and it's really taken off, especially since COVID. Whether people want to make a profit and sell their produce, or they're just looking for a more sovereign lifestyle. So the vertical farms that are leading the industry are the ones that use systems like this and the sun. Vertical farming is very much alive and thriving, just not these $100 million lettuce factories. All the energy-hungry moonshots have filed for bankruptcy way back in 2023. The ones that have made it are definitely clinging to life. And these farms in the end felt a little more like proving something than they did like solving something.
I always hear about vertical farming is it's like, hey, we have a power source, it's called the sun. Why are you wasting that?
That's why the vertical farms that use the sun and greenhouses, or the personal vertical farms that people are building in their own backyard, are highly successful and becoming more popular than ever. So much so that you might even have food in your fridge right now that you don't even know came from a hydroponic vertical garden. I'm Chad from Humble Growth. Let's grow food, let's grow freedom, and let's grow smarter. See you in the next one.